AITA for refusing to co-sign my sister's mortgage after my parents went behind my back and betrayed me, including two updates. I, 28F, have been busting my ass for years to save for my own house. I work in software, so I make decent money, but it still takes forever to build up a good down payment. Meanwhile, my younger sister, 25F, is in grad school with barely any credit. Our parents, both mid-50s, found a house near them and decided she needs it. They made an offer without telling me, and now the deal only goes through if I co-sign. The problem? I had no clue they'd do this. My parents basically dropped a bomb. You have the best credit score. Co-sign so your sister can get the house. They also hinted I should chip in for the down payment, because you've got the money. If I co-sign, I'll be on the hook if my sister can't pay. She's still in school, has debt, and zero backup plan. The bank might also reject my future mortgage application since they'll see I'm already tied to another loan. But my parents say I'm selfish and forgetting family values. My sister's calling me a monster for leaving her stranded, and my mom threatened to cut off any future financial help, like wedding money, if I don't help right now. Some relatives think it's insane my parents tried to rope me into this after they already made the offer. Others say I should just do it for the family's sake. I feel guilty, but also mad they put me in this spot. AITA for protecting my own finances. Or are they wrong for strong-arming me into co-signing a mortgage I never wanted in the first place? I feel like my family mostly saw me as the fallback options in case anyone needed financial or emotional support. Now that I'm actually building my own life, saving for a house, focusing on my career, I'm realizing how my success just makes me look like a bigger piggy bank to my parents. The more independent I become, the clearer it is that I need to separate myself from the constant guilt trips and the unspoken expectation that I'll always bail them or my sister out. I love them, but I can't keep sacrificing my own future to maintain a dynamic where I'm never the priority. Update 1. I'm absolutely not signing my sister's mortgage, and I'm definitely not pitching in for any down payment. This whole thing was the final push I needed to realize how messed up our family dynamic has been for ages. I mean, I've always known it was bad, but having them basically try to volunteer me and my finances, without even asking, just crossed a line I can't ignore anymore. I'm done. I've decided to cut ties. I'm already in the process of dropping any financial entanglements we might have, cutting off shared accounts, making sure they can't use my information for anything, and basically scrubbing them from my finances. My job lets me work remotely, so I'm planning to move out of state soon. That was always in the back of my mind, but now it feels urgent. I need space, distance, and a real shot at a normal life, without the constant guilt trips. I'm also locking down my credit, freezing it, changing passwords, everything. I'm not taking any chances that someone might try to open a line of credit in my name. I've seen enough horror stories, and I'm not about to become one. Thankfully, I'm not alone in all this. My close friends have been incredible. They're basically my real family at this point, helping me pack, offering me a place to stay if I need it, reminding me that I'm not crazy for wanting to protect my future. They've been the biggest source of support, and I'm honestly so grateful to have them in my corner. So yeah, that's it. I'm not signing. I'm leaving. I'm done. If my family wants to blow up at me for abandoning them, so be it. I've got to look out for myself, my credit, and my sanity. Here's to hoping things only get better from here. Update 2. Okay. I was really hoping the update post would be the last one, but here I am. I didn't expect it to turn into a bigger mess. After deciding not to co-sign the mortgage for my sister, I started taking extra precautions with my finances, locking down my credit, pulling my full credit reports, like you all suggested. I wanted to be absolutely sure no one could use my information without me knowing. That's when I stumbled on an active credit card I didn't open. Some of you guys warned me, and I guess I wasn't fast enough to lock down. It's been around for a couple of years now, and it was being used, but I'm assuming my parents wanted to keep it from me with the intention of using it as leverage. As of yesterday, the statements show purchases that look a lot like household expenses. The billing address on file points right back to my parent home. I confronted them, via text, because I'm currently a couple hours away with a close friend. They claimed I'd benefited from these expenses, which doesn't make much sense. Like, how did I benefit if they never helped me with setting up my own apartment? This is all stuff that I've done completely by myself. Also, it explains why they assumed I'd be okay with co-signing. Turns out they've been using my credit for a while. Needless to say, I feel completely betrayed. This wasn't some tiny oversight. My parents have been quietly using my name to fund their expenses. Now I'm talking to a professional to figure out whether I should dispute the charges or close the account outright, without tanking my own credit in the process. It's nerve-wracking realizing how they went behind my back even before this mortgage BS. At this point, I'm even more determined to move out of state to get distance from all this. My job is thankfully remote-friendly, so relocating won't wreck my career. My friends have been amazing, offering support, so I don't completely lose my mind. If it weren't for them, I'd be a mess right now. I'm not trying to be vindictive or overdramatic, I just need to protect myself. The trust is gone, and I don't see how I can maintain a healthy relationship with people who thought this was okay. It's sad, and I wish it didn't come to this, but I've got to prioritize my own future. I'll let you know if anything else major happens, but for now I'm focused on fully separating my finances from my family, getting ready to move, and making sure I don't pay the price credit-wise for something I never agreed to. It's scary, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it to finally have a life and a credit score of my own. Thanks to everyone who followed along and supported me. On to the next story. AITA for kicking my parents out after they tried to ambush me with my abusive brother. I, 34F, have been no contact with my brother Jake, 38M, for the past 6 years, and it's been the most peaceful time of my life. Some background: Jake has always treated me like garbage since we were kids. He would constantly belittle me, steal my things, and even got physically violent when our parents weren't around. Our parents always brushed it off as kids being kids or siblings fight sometimes, but it was way beyond normal sibling rivalry. Throughout our childhood and teens, Jake would make sure I knew I was the stupid one, the failure, and would actively sabotage my friendships and relationships. He once told my first girlfriend in high school that I was cheating on her when I wasn't, which led to our breakup and my social life being ruined for months. When I got accepted into college, he told everyone I only got in because our parents pulled some strings, but they didn't. I worked my ass off. After college, I went into tech while Jake went into real estate. I worked hard, got multiple certifications, and eventually started my own successful consulting firm. Meanwhile, Jake's real estate career has been struggling, especially since the market took a downturn. Now here's where the current situation starts. Last Sunday, my parents asked to come over for dinner. I agreed, thinking it would be nice to have a quiet dinner with just them. When they arrived, guess who was with them?
Jake.
I immediately felt my blood pressure rising. They had deliberately ambushed me, knowing I wouldn't have agreed if they'd told me he was coming. Jake started with this clearly rehearsed speech about how he's changed and misses his little sister. My parents were nodding along like bobbleheads, saying things like, "Family is everything, and it's time to put the past behind us." The kicker? Jake then had the audacity to mention that he's been having trouble with his business and thought maybe we could help each other out since I'm doing so well now. I lost it. I told them all to get out of my house immediately. I told my parents they had betrayed my trust and that I couldn't believe they would ambush me like this. I told Jake that he only wanted a relationship now because he needed something from me, and that 6 years of peace wasn't worth throwing away for his convenience. My mom started crying, my dad tried to guilt-trip me about tearing the family apart, and Jake acted offended that I would assume the worst about his intentions. I stood firm and told them if they didn't leave immediately, I would call the police for trespassing. They left, but now I'm getting bombarded with messages from extended family saying I'm being cruel and unforgiving. I know I was harsh, but I feel like my parents completely disrespected my boundaries, and Jake is only trying to reconcile because he needs something from me. My partner supports my decision, but some friends think I should at least hear them out for the sake of family. AITA for refusing to reconcile and kicking them all out? What did you think of these stories? Were they or were they not the a-hole? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for listening.